And Hayes, it's Leopardess and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing some curls with some perm rods. So you need some perm rods and you also need some rubber bands. So to start off, I'm gonna moisturize my hair using my Loc moisturizing oil spray. You can find it on my website at leopardesscollection.com. So I started this on freshly washed hair. You can either do that or you can wet it, but one tip is do not wet it too much because you don't want your hair to be super wet after you put the perm rods in. So for this style, you can either use flex rods or perm rods, but I found perm rods to be more economical. But overall, both will work. But for me, I made sure I bought 72 because I had 72 locks. So whatever worked for you guys best. So to start, I think that it's better to do this on hair that isn't retwisted, only because you don't want to have that pull in. So what I do is I hold on to the roots, the part that is not retwisted, meanwhile I'm bending it around the perm rod. That way I'm not pulling on my hair, I'm not causing any traction, I'm just holding it softly and wrapping it around my hair. Now one thing to note is that meanwhile the flexi rods work really great, sometimes depending on how big your locks are, the elastic on the perm rod may not hold the lock. So what I did to help reinforce this is I used a rubber band, the black rubber bands, just to hold the bottom, just to hold the base and make sure that the curls were intact. One thing that I'm also doing is that even though I already moisturized my hair with my moisturizing lock spray, is that I'm going over each lock individually as I'm wrapping it into the flexi rod and giving it that double moisture. Do not make your head over oily. Do not use too much water in your hair. You just want your hair to be damp. Damp is enough. Damp will help mold the hair. So for all of this, be very careful, especially when you're around your edges. I feel like oftentimes edges is not a conversation that is discussed with locks. But if your hairline starts to become weak because of pulling or traction, it's not going to be a pretty image. So when you're going around the front of your hair, be very, very careful. And as you guys can see, I'm holding it down before I twist it. I'm not just wrapping around all nonchalant and not caring. So make sure you guys take your time with that. Make sure you guys are moisturizing your hair and just seal it. So one thing that I learned after doing this is that it's better if you feel like your lock is going to be too thick to wrap around that, just use an elastic before you use the perm rod's elastic, so that when it comes time to take it off, the elastic isn't holding down the perm rod's elastic. That was one difficulty I faced at the end, so I'm making sure you guys know that before you guys do it. So remember, if you got a thick lock and you have to wrap it around, you know it's gonna hang off, put the elastic first, then use the perm rod's elastic and then clip it in. So one thing I also learned after doing this is that you may have a style in mind, but honestly, if you just do it one way, it doesn't really matter at all. It will come out perfect on any side. So I can wear this in the middle, I can wear this on the right hand side, I can wear this on the left hand side. It doesn't really matter. It will definitely work for any side. So at this point, I was getting tired. I was like wondering, like, was it worth it? But trust me guys, it's worth it. So when I finally got to the back was a lot easier to do. I was a little concerned that I wasn't able to see the back of my head. But like I said, with locks, it's so much easier. I can imagine doing this with loose natural hair and going through every section. It would be quite difficult. But I would say in total that this took maybe about 1 or 2 hours, just because, you know, the pace that I was going at. But I think this can be done in like an hour and 30 minutes or even less. But for me, I can't really combine my locks to go over a perm rod. It would be too big and messy, so that's why I'm doing individual. And overall, I think that was the best decision. I really didn't see how the flexi rods are gonna work in my favor. There are some flexi rods that are very thin, but like I said, it was like $4 a pack for 6, so it really wasn't economical in the end. If you have longer locks and you're concerned about whether or not your hair will fit on a flexi rod, one thing I would just suggest you to do is use a bottom of a comb, like the rat tail comb, and just wrap your locks around it and see how far it goes. If it's too far, then you know that you probably have to use a flexi rod. So I finished my whole head, thank God. So I have 72 locks, so I bought 72 of these cold wave rods. I would say buy an extra pack just in case, because I pre-opened it because I'm one of those people who have no patience at all. So I like to open things as soon as I get them. So I almost lost one. So this is the back. I really hope that this turns out great. I'm gonna go to sleep, tie my hair down, and see how it looks tomorrow. I'm really hoping for the best, because if it looks great, I'll definitely do it again. If it comes out, you know, semi-okay, I probably won't, because it was very time consuming. It took longer than a retwist. And let me tell you guys, for my retwists, those days for me are hard days. I haven't recorded a retwist on camera in a long time just because of how long it takes me. I try to get through it as quickly as possible. But see you guys tomorrow. Bye. So I took out a few off camera because it was quite a long process to record. But overall, just take your time, and also remember to take your time with the elastic, and just take your time in general, because you don't want to pull or snap any hair. So that's why I wanted to make sure I was in front of a mirror when I was doing it. Hey, so I'm back, and I took all the rods out of my hair. I really love how the curls look. They're very bouncy, they're very shiny. I styled it like this because I kind of wanted it, you know, a little bit out of my face, kind of just to create some type of like youth. Taking your hair out of the rods, careful with the rubber band. Make sure you take out the rubber band first. I think now I would definitely advise to wrap your hair first, then pin it with a rubber band, then close it. And that's if your hair needs a rubber band at the end. Some of my locks didn't require it, so I didn't put it. But if you know that, you know, the lock is bigger, it's gonna fight back or have more problems, I would put the rubber band on first and then pin it on. But overall, I really like this style. I was very concerned that it wouldn't come out as planned, but it came out really, really good. Like, I'm really, really happy about it. I feel like it looks pretty. I think it's gonna last maybe about a week. So let me show you guys the back. It's really bouncy, it's really cute. And one thing that I can definitely say is that I really appreciate the fact that it's not on my back. I tend to like shorter hair as opposed to longer hair, but if my hair was any shorter than what it was, it probably wouldn't look this length. So a little happy about that, but it's kind of nice to have the hair off your back and off your shoulders for a little bit of time. So I'm just gonna rock this for the next couple of days until it drops. So I definitely will be doing this again. This is really cute. I think it's definitely worth the time. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Also follow me on Instagram at Leopardess_. If you liked any of the hair products I used in this video, make sure you guys check them out at LeopardessCollection.com. Get 40% off using the promo code WINTER. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Bye.